I'm Gretchen. Welcome to my home and my YouTube channel. A very Merry Christmas series. We are going to be decorating my house. Today we're starting in the kitchen. I'm starting with a completely blank slate. I just like my kitchen to feel warm and welcoming. It's how I grew up and what my parents, what my mother and my grandmother had in our kitchen growing up. We always had something. Yeah, this is the 5-foot one. I like to start with my stove area in the back because this really anchors the kitchen. I already have my bow pre-hung. And I also have my Merry Christmas sign hung. I'm gonna start with garland and I'm gonna have it layered on both sides. And then I'm gonna continue down and I will have decor on my countertops. I started off with a rough sketch of how I want the decor to lay out on the backdrop. I took some measurements, laid it out on paper, just to give myself kind of a visual of what I can transform onto the wall. I started with that. That's kind of where my planning begins, with a sketch and a piece of paper. Now I'm going to do my measurements there, probably get the center point of where I want to hang a snowflake. So I'll show you. Prior to filming, I had done measurements and I hung my hooks on the wall where I want my garland to lay out. And I will show you what I use on this. These are the adhesive hooks I use. I get these right off of Amazon when I'm hanging items on walls. Now, this is the medium hook, and then this is a larger hook. So the larger hook is really great if you're laying multiple garlands. They have removable ones and more permanent ones, which are really hard to get off. When I work with that, I'll use goof off. These are the removable ones, so you see I'm able to pull them off and on. These will hold, they won't fall. My other little hack I do, for me, when I'm pulling off, it's easier for me to pull from the bottom than to come down. So I peel the plastic backing at an angle, and then I just bend it over my finger and I get scissors, and I cut the plastic on a diagonal. So I pretty much have the majority of the sticky being used, but I have this little bitty corner that has a tab that's not stuck, so that whenever I want to take it off or remove it, I can grab this corner and then take it off. It's really important to note you don't hang this on sheetrock. When you pull off, it'll tear. So this, I put on my stone backdrop. I put on windows, anything glass, marble, countertops, you know, something that when you pull it off, it's not going to tear the backing. I can hang layers and I can hang heavy stuff, and these hooks really do the trick. Okay, I'm gonna start hanging my garland. This came from Hobby Lobby. It's their cedar garland, and it's real, it has that real touch feeling. I got it because it's drapey and it looks real, and I wanted something a little more natural in this space. And then I'm coming back with this white one. I felt like this looked like snowflakes. So, and I just thought it was pretty and it's sparkly. Snowflakes or even confectionery sugar. So it just, to me, had a good fitting for being in the kitchen space, but I didn't want this to get lost in, you know, all the white in the kitchen. So it looked good against a green backdrop, but also this is Christmas, you know, natural looking, flowy, drapey garland just is natural, nostalgic Christmas. So I love having that in the decor and in the background. It feels like home to me. And then I like layering garland. I like that look, a plush look. And what's nice with using this wired garland, you really could bend it to however you want it to lay out. I just have my garland hanging and kind of organized, and I move it along with me whatever space I'm working with. I keep it rolling and just keep my stuff on hand. So I just realized I'm going to change that garland over there. I like the way this is hanging. I have it flipped so that it falls more naturally instead of laying flat. That side I had actually hung where the garland's hanging flat, so I will go back and actually flip the green garland so that it falls out, and that creates a more full look, and that's just something I like. a very large gingerbread cookie cutout, which is normally, it's an outdoor piece, but I like to use my outdoor decor indoors, and especially in a large space like this. And then I'm just adding to this corner the red poinsettias to bring color, pop of color. This is a gingerbread cookie jar, so I'll have some sweet treats filled in it. And as we watch TV, we can come in and grab a few little fun bites to eat. And I'm gonna add in another cookie jar in this space. These are red artificial poinsettias that I get from Balsam Hill. And something that I guess I really want to point out, this set over here, I had fluffed and really made it look full. I didn't do this one, just so you could see the difference. Without fluffing, it just looks, you know, it's right out of the box. It looks sparse. I like to get in and really dig and manipulate the leaves, the flowers, bend. Sometimes they're even, you know, could be glued to each other, and I'll even unstick those, you know, just to really get in and manage, get a look, achieve a look that I want. So just to make it nice and full, and it creates a real look. A lot of times when I'm finished fluffing my plants and everything, I'll have company over and they think they're real. I've added my 2 layers of garland, and this is going to be my 3rd layer. I'm adding my floral picks, and I will arrange those. How's that? What do you think? Embellish the garland and really make it fun and festive and have that gingerbread touch to it. I'm gonna add my oven towels. Okay, so this concludes the stove area. So now I'm going to fill up this corner. And so this is the large poinsettia from Balsam Hill. This is the wreath, the snow wreath from Hobby Lobby, and that is in the same family as the garland that I hung. So I'm pulling in from the garland to this area. And then I got this basket. This is from a company I saw online called Mrs. Alice. And I just love the basket, and I really love this bow detail. So I carried in the red, the white, and the brown, the gingerbread look. I like the way it fills this space, and we still have use of our counter. So I do feel like it's important, you know, fluffing it. If you want your artificial plants to have a real look, you're going to have to really get in here and bend and move and make all these little plastic pieces and parts pliable so that they can just fill the space. I'll walk by, and if I see something, a space that something that looks like it needs to be filled, I'll fool around with it. Even these, like take them and, bend them up, make them look real. They don't have to, they come out of the box super flat. And I didn't know this early on when I was dealing with garland or these kind of plants. It never looked right. And it was really frustrating. And I think over time I just said, oh, forget it. If I mess it up, I mess it up. I tested it, and sure enough, I was like, okay, I think these are meant to. But don't be afraid to get in there and play with it. And like I said, I have broken leaves and stuff, probably being a little bit too aggressive. And it's okay if you lose one or something, but for the most part, they're very sturdy. And the more you fool with it, the more real and full it gets. And this actually has lights. Just this alone, look how full it looks. Okay, and now I'm ready to decorate our sitting counter. I'm going to carry in the Christmas tree that I want to put in this space. I've never used a Christmas tree on my counters before, so I'm really excited about setting this up. And it just feels like Christmas. It feels like a very Merry Christmas. Yeah, right? Yeah. When I was kind of testing the space and different ideas and looks, I had put this ball garland on, and somehow it just came out really good. I like the space, I like the way it's sitting on the tree, so I didn't want to take it off. I left it. It landed perfect for what I saw, and so I left it on. And even this ribbon, it's the gingerbread ribbon. I kind of fooled around with it in this space, and I just like the way it flowed. So I'm using 3 of these large peppermint candy ornaments, the peppermint twist. I got them at Hobby Lobby, and they're like vintage, the vintage candy. So I like them, and I'm gonna put them in the tree. So it's almost like an art piece coming together, moving around and shifting them and just seeing how that'll place out on the tree and have the right look. So when I buy ornaments, things that I'm looking for, generally filler, and ones that, different sizes and colors, textures, color especially, how it's going to look in the space, and especially for my theme. So this year with the gingerbread, it's the red, white, and I'm going to try to add touches of that brown look, that gingerbread cookie look. So we'll see how that works out. While I have an idea in my mind of how I think it would look, it's just, this is something for me that just comes together on the spot. I get the ornaments that I think will look right together, and then I just have to do it and manipulate it. This is when I think of my parents. My mom, she would have said that was perfect. And I know it isn't, But they were always here. And I guess that's why I like doing it, because I feel close to them and I really miss them a lot. So
And I can't help this, I'm sorry. It's just, this is always how it is right now. And I guess it's why I like to decorate, because I just feel close to my parents. They would be here, they'd sit at the table. They'd just be in my environment. They'd always be there. And my mom was my biggest fan, so it didn't matter how the tree looked. She thought it was perfect every time, you know. Even when it wasn't, I knew it. With seasonal decorating is how I connect with my mom. She always liked to decorate seasonally, and it was not ever like this. Now that they're not here, it's just me with memories of them. So, for me, it isn't about creating the perfect tree, but I guess the more I do it, the more I remember. And I like it. It's something that's become very therapeutic for me.
It's really starting to come together, and I kind of like it. I feel like I still need to manipulate it some more, so I might replace some of these size red ornaments with smaller ones. I love the curls back and forth. To me, this just is the look of the vintage candy, what my parents ate when they were younger. And we would get these every time we'd see a store, if we were in Disney World or some other store, and they had the little bag of candies like this, we'd get them and put them in a jar. And my dad always loved them. And the candy cane print, and then I have these that have the red, white, and pink stripes, so kind of throwing in a touch of pink. Which, if you don't know, my friends and anyone who knows me in my house, I have touches of pink. Changing it out again. So I might, let me see what this pink, this is my big pink macaroon, and I have two little ones, and I think I'm gonna try it in this space instead of this peppermint candy. And if I don't like it, I'll put the peppermint candy back, but since we do have the touch of pink, we'll see. I'm gonna work this in somewhere. So to hold these in, when I got these, they originally had like a little metal piece in there with the plastic loop, and over time it just became loose and came out. So I tied its fishing wire, it's plastic fishing wire. I tied it around the perimeter, and I created my own little loop. And I get way in the tree, and I wedge it in, and I secure it. And I made this long because my big giant tree, when I use this loop is actually shorter, or it's short on the big trees. Very long on this tree, but very short on the big ones. Okay, so now I'm ready to work on the tree topper. I'm going to use these white picks to place up there. I will secure them with these zip ties. That way it just stays in place and I can move and manipulate them in its spot. And I may add more or take some away, just depending on how I feel like it looks. And then I'm going to come back and add a few embellishments to this once it's set up. So now I'm gonna try these peppermint lollipops up in my topper. It may or may not work. I don't know how it'll look. It may be too much, but you never know until you try. So I wouldn't use all 5. We're a bit, so let me get busy. I'm liking this so far. I think it's really come together. I think I'm gonna keep layering it, and I'm gonna try out one of these candy ornaments there. And then I think I'm gonna carry through the picks, the white picks, and distribute them throughout the tree. And just, like I said, keep adding layers until it just seems finished. I like that. I think it's coming together. I think the picks really are adding something to it. Now we finished. We have the ornaments filling up the tree. Now I'm gonna add the tree skirt, and then I'm gonna lay out some more decor on my sitting counter, and then we will be done. And now we're gonna light the tree up. Ta-da! It's beautiful. I love it. I love the way it came out. It looks great in the space. I feel like it really complements the gingerbread looking background. I will add the rest of my decor on here, and then we will be done and ready to entertain. So here I'm going to add my kitchen rugs. I always like to lay out a bottom gripper. And in this space I used a 2-foot by 10-foot rug. I love my kitchen. I finished and it feels like a full Christmas world now. Every year I try to outdo myself, but this gingerbread and Candyland theme just might be my favorite yet. I went big this time. From the bold island tree, to the sweet treats section, to the gingerbread touches tucked in every corner. Even the garland and snowflakes just feel magical in this space. And the poinsettias, they fill the corners beautifully. What I love most is how whimsical but still elegant everything turned out. It's playful, it's cozy, it's nostalgic, which is what I wanted. And it feels magical, kind of the way Christmas decor should. My goal with today's decorating was to create a kitchen that feels like walking into a holiday storybook, something that feels warm, inviting, full of wonder. And I always say, I want it to feel like a hug to your heart. And honestly, it's the little details that tie everything together. The textures, the candy stripes, the gingerbread pieces, and the sparkle from the snowflakes. Every area has its moment. And my tree, I didn't know how it was gonna come out. It was definitely a work in progress. But experimenting with this piece this year, it's bold, it's unexpected, and it fills the space and makes the whole room feel magical. If you're decorating your own kitchen, don't be afraid to play with scale. It's Christmas, have fun with it. And even Peach here got into the holiday spirit. She got her little candy cane bows on and helped me decorate the kitchen. Stay tuned and stay blessed, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.